Yo, what's going on, guys? Sekapoko here, bringing you another 7 Listens Grand Prize video. We, of course, are brought by these fine people down here. We have, and Kabuki, but, you know, it's Kabuki. who's currently muted, and he doesn't care about us right now, so whatever. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. I start from left to right, I guess. Alex, go first, I guess.
Hey, what's up?
Nice introduction.
Yes. Okay, Alex, of course, is the Netmarble survivor. He's playing Marvel Future Fight, and he's a nice guy, very very wholesome, and likes calling people out. It's great. Then we got Nog here. There's Nog.
I'm toxic. I've made Josh Risk quit the game.
Oh my god!
I'm kidding.
Okay. We have Seatin, bottom left, the sin of Wales.
Hello, my name's Seatin, and I upload videos to YouTube.
Nice. And then we got, of course, if you don't know him, SpamandRice, who streams live on Twitch every day, and he is free to play, by the way.
I'm free to play, and so is my webcam. I don't look as good as these guys right now.
Quintessential.
I don't look good either. I don't know how to use webcam properly, but it's okay.
We tried. I mean, it's okay. It actually looks fine. So it's not in 60, it's in 30. And then Kabuki. Kabuki, we're always waiting.
Nice, Kabuki. Very nice.
Always waiting on you, Kabuki.
Oh my gosh, he's still muted, actually.
He is still muted.
Top tier content.
I know. Hey, Kabuki. Kabuki. He was here a minute ago. I don't know.
He's gonna hop in any second. Gonna tell us to shut
what's
up.
up? What's up? My bad. My bad.
Introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? It's Kabuki. I'll be right back.
Every day with this, every day. All right, so I guess we'll just start up. So I have compiled a list of things for the state of Grand Cross and talking about a lot of different things that we'll be having. We got Twitch chat live here. We have over 1,000 people here, I think, right now. And we
Thanks for coming,
are...
guys.
Yeah, thanks for everybody coming out. We're going to be talking about all the issues in Grand Cross, all the fun things that are happening, etc. And I got a whole list of questions for everybody in the chat, as well as people on... on the stream to talk about these things. So the first thing on the list, we got Final Boss Gowther. It's really different than how it was originally on the Japanese version. And the first question I'm put out to you guys is, what do you guys think of the changes that they made on the global version versus the one on the Japanese version? For example, there's no scoring system, and there was no scoring system on the Japanese version. It's very different. So what do you think?
I didn't play JP, but I thought it was pretty cool how we have a completely different team than what the guides told us that we had to build, right? Like, I never expected Hauser on Gowther or anything like that. But then again, I never played JP, so I was curious about Nog's opinion on the original meta.
I played both because I actually am playing global again, and I actually like more the global way, because on JP it was like first of all, like when it released initially, you could only do one time a day, which was trash. Right?
It was.
You had like especially for making videos, you had to like wait the next day to try a new team. It was so trash. But I like the global way because every time I beat it, I'm like, did I do a new score? Did I do a new score? It's pretty fun. And I like that the teams are not always like you have to choose the type advantage stuff. It's like oh, how's it? It's pretty cool.
I think the first one that they came out with was 3 times a day for Final Boss King, and that's the max you could attempt it. And then for Final Boss Gowther, it's just 1 time a day. So if you wanted to make a team guide, you would literally have to get to the absolute end of the fight and then X out after it said finish attack so that you could record that team and then not get any rewards to record another team. It was very frustrating.
Damn, I never even know that existed. That's mental. I feel like Final Boss.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, it's like one of my favorite modes of gameplay. I was really, really, really sweaty the first 48 hours, just going in and in and in. And then it's just like, I'm over it. Like, as soon as I got a decent score, it's just like, I've had enough. I'm done. I'm totally done. But it's really fun. It's just addicting to be like, oh, I could have like gone for this play instead, and that would have gotten me, this many points in this phase. And it's really interesting replaying the fights, just trying to maximize your strategy. So yeah, Final Boss, one of my favorite pieces of content.
So what do you guys think of... Oh, Alex, go ahead. You say something. You didn't say anything. You're muted! No, you're fine.
It's all good.
Okay, so Alex, what do you think of the Final Boss?
It's cool.
Okay, it's nice.
Fun.
So
Free to play.
I was gonna say that the unlimited attempts was only introduced on Meliodas, the Super Boss Meliodas, and it was, in my opinion, the first like really good one. Because up until Merlin was good. I kind of liked it. But Meliodas is when it was like, oh, that's super fun. And like they can make different teams. I remember trying to solo it with Justice Tarosa was super fun. And it's kind of like the same thing for Gowther as well.
Yeah, it was only soloable like the second time around. The first time around, that was wow. Like remember the first one when we had to RNG on Final Boss King, use the like a massive amount of RNG to reset crits in order to do a counter that would actually kill the final boss. Especially if you're free to play, it was like almost unbeatable in hell.
What do you guys think of them removing the crit reset?
What'd you say?
What do you think about them removing the crit reset? I kind of like it.
It's unnecessary now, so I guess it's fine.
It's unnecessary.
What's crit reset?
You know how you on let's say Guild Boss or Final Boss King, you can actually just go into the fight, and if you didn't crit, you can actually do a different order of skills and then reset the critical strike. They removed it.
Oh, they removed that?
Yes,
I haven't tried that in so long.
Yeah, because we don't need to on JP anymore because we have Dairy and Dairy never crits.
Yeah,
anyways.
because at one point the other Guild Boss, I tried that a lot because there was this try with Elat, so you could do like 7, 8, 10 million damage with Dairy.
Yeah,
and I tried that for like a long time until I got it, and it did work when I tried that.
So the fun thing is that the crit reset's going to be gone, but they're going to be coming out with the same guild boss that had the crit resetting needed again on the 5th. And they announced that today, so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Kabuki, say something.
Yo, what's up?
What do you think about Final Boss Gowther?
That was pretty good, man.
Nice,
What you get, man?
It's a great insight, Kabuki. All right, so do you guys are you comfortable with the level of RNG, and do you think it's fun overall for Final Boss Gowther?
Yeah.
I think so. Like I actually like RNG to an extent, right? Because having every run be the same would be boring. So I like some sort of RNG, but sometimes it's frustrating, of course. But I guess that's the bad side. But I like it.
The RNG makes it addicting, honestly.
Mhm.
It does. It really does.
I think it's
100%.
hilarious when you screw up and then the big giants just nuke you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's funny.
Who did more attempts day one, Seatin or Seka?
Oh, I have
Seatin,
no idea.
I'd say Seatin. I only did it for 9 hours. Seatin went for like
Maybe
full
me.
2 days.
Maybe me.
Not the guy, the other guy.
Seatin went for 2 days straight on that.
I was going so hard, man.
All right.
Let's see. All right, so that's going to be it for Final Boss Gowther. We're all pretty happy with it, I guess. Moving on to the next thing, we're going to be doing PvP, so Kabuki's going to be much more passionate about this shit. What do you guys think of the Pierce meta versus a Penetrate versus any kind of resistance meta versus any kind of fun that we can have in the game? Do you think that Valenti's early release was a huge negative? Was it fun? Was it different? What do you guys think about the early release of Valenti countering this Pierce meta right away?
I think it was good.
Yeah.
When JP got the Pierce meta, it was hell for a month.
Mhm.
If you didn't have it, you weren't playing the game. Like, you legitimately couldn't play the game if you didn't have Blue DML and Lilia until Valencia came out. And then, you could still use it and you would still win using it. But it was like, less people were using it because, if I face a Valencia, I'll probably lose. So people were more scared of using it, was like less confident on just using that one team. And it became more viable to use other stuff. So releasing the counter to probably the strongest team for such a long time on JP was a good idea. I think Global is doing a good job of like knowing what to do, because some stuff that they messed up on JP, they can just fix it before they release it on Global.
I think the comparison of how bad it was on JP is really similar to how bad Kingdom was on release. First off, because of the bug with Helbram. If you guys don't know about the bug, essentially Helbram's buff for his passive wasn't 20% on release. It was actually bugged to be 40%. So Helbram was a fucking absolute monster. He would be one-tapping people with like 2 stars. It was insane. He was the most broken unit in the game for almost 2 weeks, I think, and they finally fixed him. And that was really busted. So
I didn't even know about that, man.
yeah,
Sorry, no, carry on, dude.
Yeah, it's.
Sorry. I was going to say another thing that they fixed it before release was one patch that actually came out, before Global came out in JP was healing, or I guess cleansing, taking off Petrify, and you being able to use the card of the unit that was petrified. That was such an annoyance on JP that was fixed, and it was already implemented on Global on release. So that's another good thing about Global,
The negative of that was Milim, though. Milim was so much stronger on JP than that she was on Global because of the cleanse thing. So because there was no cleanse thing, Milim was actually able to attack, like ultimate lock someone, and they would not be able to do anything. Same with Vivian. If you use Vivian or Milim as an ultimate locking character, they would just be stuck there, and there's no ultimate for that whole turn. So if you locked out an entire enemy team with a 2-star Milim, and they had no cleanse, they'd just be sitting there. Nice pillow.
I was like, where'd he go?
Very important.
That's pretty nice.
Man, I find like Kingdom, all of us global players, we found Kingdom so annoying. So I can't imagine what you guys had to deal with. Thankfully, we're out there right now.
It's weird. I feel like we're getting a bit of a JP history lesson here, but I thought the week where Valenti was released was a little bit boring when it came to PvP. It was a bit of a snooze fest.
Oh, yeah.
But I really do like the meta at the moment. I feel like there's just a lot of different ways that you can approach it and so much different stuff going on. Primarily, people are running Pierce just because it's quick and easy. But if, you're consistently running into that, like Alt Rush teams of Valenti are doing really, really well at the moment. And it just brings back like weird characters. I know all sorts of YouTubers are doing videos on like Deanne and Green King Alt Rush. Because, if they can't like burst down or drain Deanne or King, then you can just, punish them with an alt one-shot the opposing team. Easy game, easy life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you guys think is Valenti's biggest counter right now?
What is?
Who do you think Valenti's biggest counter is right now?
More Pierce and more CC.
Valenti's biggest counter?
Yeah.
Just kill her faster, dude. That's the counter.
The one
It
team
depends
that
what-
died completely is Mono Red.
Oh, yeah,
Pretty
completely.
much. The
Yeah.
Red units have really taken a huge nosedive, which kind of sucks because I like most red units besides Hauser because of Lilia. But like, I don't even see that many Gowthers anymore, which is crazy. Like a month ago, every team had Gowther.
Yeah, this is so we went from a mono red meta to like a semi mono blue meta with a green, Escanor. But
yeah,
if they do come out with red Escanor, it'll be really similar to full mono blue.
No, I was gonna say I think it's crazy how like super relevant Hauser and Arthur became on global in the initial like release of the game.
Oh yeah,
because it wasn't like that on JP. So I was actually very impressed. I cannot even imagine how global players are gonna feel like when Red Escanor comes out. People already love Arthur because that was when Arthur was actually relevant on JP, and he's already relevant on global before Escanor comes out. So when Escanor comes out,
just a quick question about that, kind of moving forward. For those red teams, aren't they still going to get clapped unless like Red King is in the game to give the Pierce reduction?
absolutely.
So before Elizabeth came out, Red was still really good with Kingdom Back, because if you get the RNG right and you get the level 3 boost turn 1, Escanor destroys everything. Right? Doesn't matter. Like the only real thing you can do to cuck that is running green Escanor and removing buffs as soon as he gets level 3. That's really annoying when you're using mono red and someone does that. But you would like one shot blue DML if you had like a level 2 attack from Escanor. But
Yeah.
now with
Off-type.
Elizabeth, because of the revive, like Escanor is a single target character pretty much. I mean, he takes off ultimate gauge and stuff with the AoE. But like, let's say this happens when she came out. Someone killed my Lost Vein melee with his Escanor, like one shot, level 2, and he just came back to life with his ultimate, and they just ulted him in one. Like the revive just completely cucked that team. But for like a long time, Mono Red was super good and relevant. Super good.
With the Pierce comps against it, if Pierce goes first against Mono Red and you're not running a Red King backline, then you will get one turned still.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you need the Red King 100%. He's like he's definitely a massive meta unit for on JP. There was like 3-4 months, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like in order to like sell Red Escanor, they're going to need to release like Red King first?
right.
Just to have that initial like counter, because if he just comes out by himself, like he's just going to be a bit until like the Pierce counter arrives.
People are just gonna wait to buy him in a coin shop. If you don't have Red King.
Mm-hmm.
They were released within a week of each other, I think, on JP.
Really?
Yeah. So it was Escanor, then Red King right after.
Mm-hmm. Now I was gonna say, if Global already hates Pierce so much, like the global devs already hate Pierce so much to release Valenti before Pierce was even a thing, they could just release Red King next week. Who knows? Like, they just like take another counter.
I don't know.
Random.
I was going to ask, like, Red Melascula, I was looking up on YouTube. She only came out on JP like 3 months ago, right now.
Yeah, she was decently recent on JP. She came out
like, well
after
ahead of
very
the
early.
schedule.
That was actually my next point. So Red Melascula, what do you think?
I think it was
Through her worst unit in the game. Hate it. Absolutely hate it.
Really? Are
Yeah,
you naming or serious? I'm curious.
Oh no, I just got shafted on the banner.
Oh.
Oh, I saw that, dude.
Yeah,
You
I
got
did
destroyed
see-
on that
yeah,
one,
you
man.
did.
Yeah, your polls were good though.
Okay, so Red Melascula having the anti-death mechanic is really cool, and I've seen a couple of cool PvP teams come of it. What do you guys think of them releasing very recent JP units onto the global version early?
I think
I
it's
love
good.
it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a character like Melascula that wasn't relevant. She can become more relevant on Globe because a lot of the characters that released before her haven't released yet. Like for Red, like on PvE, why would you use Melascula if there was already Red Derriere? Like there's no point. But maybe you can use Melascula now, you know? Stuff like that.
One of the thicker units I think they're going to bring out early because of this is Green Estarossa because of how short-lived his meta was on the JP version and how hard it is
He's
to
still
use
good.
him.
I love him. He's my favorite unit in the game.
That's so interesting if they're tracking that kind of
HP
thing and they're
def,
seeing how long units lasted on JP and they're trying to sort of reverse that trend. Because then it goes also back to your question. I don't want to, necro the whole red Escanor thing, but they might just mess with that completely and try something like completely different. Maybe they might delay Red King for like a month or two to see what happens, right?
Imagine Estarossa and a Droll banner coming out. Imagine a Droll like really early on global. I'd love that. That'd be great.
I'm gonna nut. Yeah.
It could happen with chapter 10. I don't know.
You know what they need to do? Attack on Titan collab on both versions, dude.
Yo, for
Yeah.
real.
Don't worry. We're going to go over that. We're going to go over that. That's like that's later in the. We'll go over that later. Don't worry.
I just have it in my heart, you know.
It's in the things. All right. So we're pretty good on PvP right now, and we're gonna shift from PvP and talk about what you guys feel is most needed in Grand Cross Global. The first thing we're gonna go over is QOL changes. What QOL change would you like on
for global or for both versions?
Actually, we can do both versions. Actually, that'd be good.
Yeah, you go first then.
Better way to manage equipment. It is a nightmare in this game to manage a lot of equipment sets once you build them up. It's the biggest pain. There needs to be some sort of like I don't know the right solution, like presets, something like that.
Presets would be nice,
but
It's
such a pain.
With UR gear, when you engrave someone, if you want to change their gear,
Oh my gosh.
their UR will always be at the top, so you know what gear which one is. Like I barely have SSR gear anymore because everything's engraved, so it's easier to sort from that. But that's not a system; that's just something that happens, right? It wasn't on purpose, I guess. But yeah.
So you're saying all I need to do to solve the gear problem is make it UI for every character.
Exactly. Okay, so that's exactly what happens. So one of the things that's really funny about UR gear is not a lot of people realize how big of a power creep it is in comparison to Super Awakenings. So I'll go over Super Awakenings a little bit later. But UR gear is one of those things that really limits a lot of players from boosting up later on. So if you're pay to play, you do have that issue coming forward. And if you are a free to play player, you're going to be fighting against people that have full UR teams and then can switch to another team.
No, it definitely is. Like these days, when a new unit comes out, I have to UR gear them, or I can't use them on geared for videos. Like they're just not as good.
Yeah, and you can only showcase an ungeared showcase at that point, and you can't showcase geared, which is really annoying.
Yeah,
like I really want to throw, but I can't because he's not super awakened or has UR gear, so he's trash.
I was watching Seka stream and he couldn't even he didn't even want to summon for Melascula because he would have to build like UR gear in order to use her. You know?
Well, you can use her right now on an HP def set without UR gear. That would be still viable, but if you wanted to use her for a long period of time, you're still going to have to build UR gear for her if you wanted to use her in a long-term unit. And the other issue is Super Awakening, so that was the main issue where I did some for her.
All right.
But
I hate Super Awakening.
I
hate it.
Enhancing gear.
Oh,
A quality
hate
life thing.
Here's the thing,
yeah,
right?
on QL, let's go back. Let's stay on QL.
They
We'll talk
released-
about Super Awakenings later. Don't worry. It's
Well,
right in the
right
video.
in the
It's
video.
right in the
We
video.
we got you, dog.
Don't
Very
worry.
passionate about it.
I know. It's much later than it's the last thing we're talking about. All right, so QL changes. Alex, you said Gear Awakenings?
Yeah, I don't want to mess with macros to +1 and +5.
I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I honestly think that might be a necessary evil, and they might just be like, you know what? If you really want more of those, the poo stones and the blue awakening stones, then you're just gonna have to do it, right? Like just a time sink. I don't know, like, yeah, but it's mad annoying.
I just hate how we actually see a difference from +1 and +0. Like we have to do it, you know. So
No, and you can track players that don't do it, and you can see over months.
You can see the difference.
They fall behind
easily.
Chat says, "Wake Kabuki up."
Yo, I'm here.
Say something.
Red Molescula, dude. Her passive, it needs to be changed. I don't like it.
You don't like Red Molescula's oh, because you can't change it.
It's not that, bro. It's like you have it, right? Say you're using counter melee, and he dies, he loses the counter. He loses all of his buffs. I don't feel like that should be the case, bro. He should have all of his buffs. It makes no sense why he loses.
Like, it's just like when a character dies and then revives and loses their counters?
All the buffs go away. Even the counter goes away. So it's like, if you're trying to scheme, get hit with the ultimate. If you die, you lose the counter. So it makes no sense.
That's the same for Blue Liz on a revive too.
It's because when a character dies, they lose everything. But yeah, I think that her pass would be best if it's like, if instead of dying, and technically they're a zombie, I guess, but instead of dying, it'll be like they just go to 1 HP.
Yeah, I agree. You know? That would be an easy fix to make too. Like for a character, like I liked your video, Kabuki. It was good. Like green Meliodas with red Molesca. That's really innovative, man. Good job.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's just the counter mechanic goes away. So it's like there's no point. I would have to take 2 turns to do it, and the initial setup is too much for like. If you're playing a real player, like a good player, right? He's just gonna kill Molescula. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
But just because the counter disappears, right? He doesn't need to worry about it. He could just like, oh, you know what? I don't need to even touch Meliodas this turn. I could just wait, get my ultimate. Since he doesn't even have the counter or the buff, so it makes no sense for him to like. He's at 1 HP. Technically, he didn't die.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that, man? I'm upset. I'm upset, bro.
I agree, man. I think they should rework it a little bit before.
My bad.
Right now, no, it's good. That's a good point, and we didn't talk about that, so it's good.
Quality of life, I would want a recall ticket.
A what?
Just so a recall ticket.
What's that?
So basically, you know how progression is such a high point in Japan? No, sorry, JP, right? Like you have to awaken them. You have to get all their costumes to max level and stuff as well. If you had a recall ticket that would give everything back that you spent on a character, it would be pretty cool. Then you can just have fun with different characters, right?
I'm never gonna do that.
You're gonna lose too much money, man.
Money, cash.
You better make it $200 or something.
No, but it's like it'll be fun because you could probably just give 1 recall ticket a month for free, right? And then that player has the option to just recall a unit completely back to level 1, and then he can invest in another unit. I just feel like there's so much investment that you have to do for a unit. It's like it's crazy they don't have a recall ticket.
If it's just awakened material,
that's a cool idea though. No. Either way.
No. At a point in JP spam, you're gonna have to upgrade cosmetics.
Oh yeah,
you
for
gotta
sure.
level it up. Right. You gotta get awakening star, super awakening as well. So it's a lot of investment. It's not just awakening them to 6-star. You're gonna get all those mats. Like if you can get them back and invest on another character, it would be pretty cool.
So the cosmetic upgrade materials, Kabuki, for gearless PvP, do provide a significant advantage, but for geared PvP, you don't even notice. So it won't even help at all. So for
I understand, but it's just like a cool recall ticket, like once a month. Like if you messed up, like take Blue Ellie, right?
Yeah.
You know how Seatin messed up and leveled her up. It'll be cool.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I can't believe mine's still level 1.
Yeah.
I accidentally started. And I was like, no.
Like there's certain characters that you won at level 1, right? And you don't have the option to take them back. And a lot of games have it. I think Epic 7 has it. Hero Kantari has it. So it's like I'm pretty Summoners War might have it as well.
It's a good idea. They may add it in the future, actually. It seems like a fair thing to add in, especially with how much resources and investment you're going to have to make into a character regardless. I don't know if they're going to do it for UR as well, but that would be really helpful, especially since UR is so expensive in how everything is. Spam losing his shit right now. It's amazing.
Every time Nog stands up, he comes back with something else, and I'm always trying to guess. I guess this one in my head. I knew a headband was coming next.
All right, so different unit. Who do you want to see most in Grand Cross Global first?
Shivago.
Oh.
What?
As in a character that's already released, or?
Yeah, a JP released unit that you want to come to Global early.
Oh.
The brand new unit.
Lost Vein Meliodas.
No, never. Yeah. Delay for 9 years, please.
Take note. I'd like to see Droll really early. Droll would be fantastic right now.
I agree. That would be really fun.
We need that
Oh
big
yeah,
board
because
right
he would actually be relevant. Oh yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Just that resistance thing that he's got and like the counters they can do. That's pretty cool.
You can make some like wild Droll Valenti teams.
Like a super early release.
Droll only has value on JP because of the rule set in PvP.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has king. So if they don't disable cleanse, he's useless on global now, anyways. Right?
You're right. Actually, you're right. Unlucky, poor Droll.
It's just they just need to change. They just need to buff his passive.
Dude, speaking of those rules, please don't come to global, man. Please don't come to global.
No, we need the rules.
That'll ruin PvP, man.
No, why you guys
so scared? Here's the thing.
Alex, you don't know. Trust.
I know the rules. They just need to make the rules better.
No, some rules are bearable, or some are just trash.
But it
some
makes you use different characters. It gave
no. Here's the thing. Sometimes they make rules like type disadvantage do 40% less damage. So type disadvantage units end up doing no damage.
That was a good rule. I like that rule. That was a good one.
Yeah, but then
I hate that rule.
So here's the thing about that rule is it made Lost Vein Meliodas not the only unit in the game that you would be
no, but if you use Merlin, you can't take off his ultimate gauge. Or Green Derriere, you couldn't take off his ultimate gauge if you have to. And that pissed me off.
By the way, him getting crit resist was such a fucking kick in the nuts.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Oh my god, why did he get crit resist? So that's gonna be basically it for what you guys feel is most needed for Grand Cross Global for the new units. We're gonna go into, is there enough to do at end game content on both Global and JP? You'll be talking about what you guys think there is to do on end game, if it's fun, if there needs to be more things, etc. So the first question I have is, after dailies, do you feel like there's nothing to do, or do you feel like there's something to do?
By dailies, you also count like 6 raids.
Yes.
There's nothing to do, man. The game's pretty dead.
Like, okay, here's the thing with their progression of content, right? They keep bringing these weekly activities or monthly that are like last for 2 weeks that you do like once a day, and then they vanish and never come back, right? That just adds it as a daily. Like, that's just an extra daily every time. Super Boss became an extra daily as well.
It's
but I guess for the first day, it's good.
Oh, sorry to interrupt.
No,
I was just going to say, I think it depends on your level of play. Like, the thing is, I think mobile games, content-wise, are very hard to manage because you've got all sorts of different players. You've got very casual people. You've got people like us that sit in chairs and sweat for 12 hours a day. So it's hard to cater to a lot of different audiences. But I think for the casual players, it's probably like just enough content. But I feel like people like us that have far too much time to play mobile video games, it's never really going to be enough. But I think it's coming at a good pace in comparison to a lot of other games. There's a pretty sizable update once every 2 weeks, kind of a mini update in between. I think they're doing a good job moving stuff forward. But yeah, I feel like I'm excited for future stuff like this 3v3 thing that's been teased, like Team Brawl. I like the Tower of Challenge mode gameplay. Not a fan of Super Awakenings, but stuff like that I find very cool, very interesting. So yeah, I think it depends on your level of play.
I think that 3v3 thing has been around for like 3 months on JP.
Yeah, the 3v3 is Guild Wars, right? And the Guild Wars was like teased like months and months ago, and it's still like in our menu, just sitting there like, are you guys gonna open that? Or are we just not gonna play it ever?
Are they the same thing? Are Guild Wars and 3v3 the same thing? Or
yeah, for some reason they call it 3v3, but it's Guild Wars. And it's only open. It's only open for the top 16 guilds. So for you to play it, you had to rank as top 16 guild. I don't think you can anymore, but you had to rank as top 16 guild to play the beta. But why have the beta there for everyone to see? Just let it open only for the people that joined. But still,
the fact that it was limited to top 16 was very frustrating because
my guild got top 17.
I saw, Doc. I was like, oh, was it?
That was so upsetting, dude.
Dude, I think J-Rock's quit for that.
Yeah, you couldn't even make a video about it, huh?
So every the most frustrating thing is that the top 16 guilds on JP are insane. They're just absolutely not that. It's like having 16 different ambition guilds.
Like we were like yeah,
You mean
if
madness, right?
Not like that.
You mean
Right,
16
yeah.
different madness skills?
You know what I mean?
No.
Okay, you know that's fine. It's like 16 of those guilds.
16 different ambition guilds. There you go, second. You said it right. Bro. Get your second tier guild out. Tier 2 madness.
Tier
Oh,
2.
you can be over madness now, man. Man! Swear to God, see it, bro.
Man, speaking of content though,
Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of-
I'm so jealous. I lost my friend.
speaking of content, so I play this game a lot, right? Like I stream like 9-12 hours a day. Just recently, the past 2 days, I took it a little more casual when I went to go visit my parents. And it was actually hard keeping up with the dailies when I was occupied with something else, right?
You're also
So
free to
I
play,
used to
though,
think there was nothing to do. Sometimes I just sit in the tavern, right? But I don't know. That's what Seatin was saying. It's hard to find a balance for casual and hardcore.
Yeah,
so to that point, Spam, I used skip tickets yesterday and I finished every daily in an hour. Every single one, PvP, everything in an hour. So I used skip tickets to spawn all my demons, then did the demons. The demons took like 20 minutes, and then I went directly into PvP. That took a little bit. Then I did skip tickets on the SP dungeon and skip tickets on everything. I upgraded the 10 pieces of gear or whatever, and I was done in an hour. And I was like, holy shit. So
Mans was tryharding dailies, dude.
So
Yo,
yeah, go ahead.
one question, one
You
idea I
making a guide
had.
on that?
Yo, sorry.
Sorry, my bad.
He never talks. Go ahead.
No, I'm cool. I'm just here.
More madness.
Okay, Kabuki go first, then Alex.
Oh no, I was just roasting Seka. I was like, you make. Oh wait, I gotta go, boys. I'm sorry. Hold up.
He's muted
on Kabuki.
Alex, go. Alex, you go.
It wasn't even here.
He muted. Yeah, I had this idea when I was about to go to bed, like all of the content in Grand Cross, and this is something that I think about when I compare other games like Marvel Future Fight and Marvel Contest of Champions. But all of the content right now, except for Knighthood boss, is always 3 characters in and a sub. Mm-hmm. All content, whether it's PvP, PvE, final boss stuff that rotates out monthly, whatever. And I wonder if players also get bored of that, because the RNG of the cards is always going to be there, and that's always a persistent thing that makes it interesting and that makes every match like technically unique. And then of course you can sub in units and you can build up gear, but that's kind of becomes repetitive in its own right, because there's only so many gear sets that work right now anyways, basically only 2. So I wondered about that, because the 3v3 thing is a little bit different in terms of what you're doing, or it's a little bit different in terms of the setup, but what you're doing is still the same. You're bringing in 3 plus a sub, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if like they need like a 1v1 game mode, or something to break up the same setup that they have for all content.
Just in the future on JP, I've played a couple of the bosses. There are bosses where you have like 4 characters. I think all the hell bosses at the moment, they got 4 characters on the front line.
Yes.
So I think there is future stuff that does kind of mix that up a little bit. Obviously, Nag and second, they're a lot more than I do.
They really only mix up to 4. I really want to see a 1 or 2, but they only mix up to 4.
What the hell is that? Oh, he's making coffee.
Yeah, he's making coffee.
It's like farting. Yeah, so to talk about those very briefly, you use 4 units. Sometimes you get 3 cards, sometimes you use 4. It's very similar to Guild Boss. So you're fighting those very, very difficult content, and then you got to beat them. And there's missions that go along with it. And then the other content that's going to be coming out very soon, which is actually part of the next segment we're talking about, is world bosses, where each person gets 1 unit. Sorry, not 1 unit. 1 team, and they all try to compete for a score on the boss, which is actually really fun. World bosses, both ways they've done it is actually really cool. Crab Raid win, by the way, Nog. Crab Raid win.
Can't wait.
Oh, the crab raid was fun.
Dude, that thing was so much fun. I got so much gold off it.
Hey,
when did the Crab Raid come out on JP?
I want to talk about gold OC event, dude. I think I like spent 1 billion gold, dude. It was insane.
Yeah,
but
sorry. Basically, so the Crab Raid, if for those of you guys who don't know, was the first world boss, and there were world boss rewards where everyone was able to receive specific rewards by hitting a certain level. And there was a second tier of rewards where you can do exchange shop stuff. And the thing with the exchange shop, instead of having a limit on SR chest turn-ins, there was infinite SR chest turn-ins. So what you would do is take those raid materials that you would get from the raid for completing it, and then just turn them in for SR chests once you finish the shop. So you infinitely got SR chests, which was millions upon millions upon millions of gold daily. So it was a really cheap way to get lots of gold.
They're never going to do that again.
I want
that was a mistake.
It was. It was. After that, it was such a big power spike. But I think on global, it would be fine because the amount of gold and resources we have on global is a lot better. Based on this time of the game, there were about 90% of players were somewhere around 130 to 140,000 combat class. And it was much different in combat class in terms of like where players were. And now on global, a lot of people are like 170, 180, around that range. And the average, I would say, is like 160s. So it's very, very different in terms of where people are as far as equipment and what is actually available to players over time.
They've been pumping out stuff much faster on global that helps people with increasing CC.
It's really nice for newer players. Okay, so after endgame content, after there's dailies, all this stuff, all the things we want to see, there is PvP centric. Do you think the game is more PvP centric at this point in the game, or do you think it's more PvE centric?
For sure.
PvP for sure.
Yeah.
It depends what you care about, I think, is the answer.
But PvP
like,
is
you can just ignore PvP if you want.
PvP, not only 60 gems a week, but you can also snag like 200 emeralds a week as well. If you're playing top 100, so like it's a big like resources. You can like if you're very casual and you don't care about resources at all, I guess you can not play PvP. And I guess if you don't need that much resources and that much good gear, so the emeralds come in play, right? If you don't play high level PvP anyways, but I don't know. I think you're missing out.
What I think they need to add. Okay, what'd you say, Seatin?
I was just going to say it depends what you care about, you know, and your priorities. Because I know a lot of people that play this game and love all the PvE stuff, but they just don't care about PvP.
You gotta do that daily match.
That's still really good.
You have to.
You got to for that 50 diamonds a week, right?
No, I think
but you can get up to like 3K or 2K rating really easily and get like 30 to 45, 46 diamonds a week and just park there forever.
Yeah, you can.
GG.
The problem though in PvP though for geared PvP is like there's of course a big wall between gold and platinum for players, and they feel like they're really limited there.
Huge.
100%, man. The system needs to be reworked for geared. It's screwed at the moment. You stand no chance of like getting into geared for ages.
Yeah,
like so many people were excited. They have all SSR gear out after the salvaging event, but they can't even do anything at all.
It was like that on JP for a while as well. I feel like it just takes longer for, I guess, like casual players to really be able to compete against people that are playing all day, because gear in the beginning is really difficult to get in. Right after you're already like getting full SSR sets and stuff, you just snowball, right? But in the beginning, it's very difficult. Remember, it took me like months to be able to play geared on JP as well.
Oh yeah, I was about 2 months in for me to play geared at all, to push up through like all the tiers. It took a lot longer because the level of the PvP brackets was much different on launch, and the amount of diamonds that you would be able to get every single week was much different, because instead of having every player in their grandma in Champion League on launch, it was actually bronze, silver, gold only. So the amount of people getting diamonds every week for the first 2 months was very much smaller. So we would only get like 30 diamonds a month or a week versus 60. So new players, old players, whatever, would have much more harder time, especially with all the Helbram stuff and Kelkimmer stuff.
They just need a new system in Elite where you can't lose score. The problem is you can tank even in gold. So people just, infinitely tank. They stay in gold. There are even people like 180, 190k CC. It's like bullying new players trying to get into geared.
Yeah.
Just late, man. It's so late.
A friend of mine, I'm not gonna say her name because I don't want to blast her, but she said that she did it, and I was like, why? And she's like, I just like the power.
Dickhead.
The best way of getting coins.
What'd you say?
Like you just make coin food and just destroy noobs.
People like that are just super scummy, bro. Like if your CC is at that level, bro, you should be at a higher level. Don't like decay on purpose just so you fight easier people so you can farm coin food.
Like what's even the point? You still get a lot of coins from being on the top ranks. Like
tons from being champion.
Like if you're top 50, like only top 50 people.
So
Only 50 people are going to be able to get that. But you get 4,000 coins a week. That's 200. That's 200 emeralds.
So the math came out. There's somebody actually did the math on people who are like locking people in gold and saying, I'm going to farm in gold because it's easier to farm coins and I get a lot more coins out of it. The math came out to you actually get, I think it was almost double the amount of coins in Challenger that you do for the same amount of matches in gold because of the 3,000 bump. So it's
I was just going to ask. If you get to Challenger now, you're permanently locked there, right?
Yeah, so you can just farm infinitely there. And there's hundreds of bots. So
no. You gotta be top 100 to be locked
drop
into
back
Challenger.
down.
Oh, or you drop back down.
You get ranked down if you just Challenger.
Oh, you don't? No, you don't, Kabuki. What?
Yeah, I get ranked down champ 1 every week.
You always get ranked down.
What do you mean? No. Sorry.
If I didn't place top 100 on the ranking match, and if I'm in Challenger, I get knocked down to champion.
So this interesting thing about top 100 is I found this out. I didn't actually know this. If you get to top 100 in the first week on a 4-week campaign, you actually just stay there on JP for 4 weeks, which is like you get so many rewards 4 weeks with doing nothing.
I got
what the heck?
93 in the first week, and I've been still getting the same rewards without playing geared at all. It's so good.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
The geared system needs to be better though.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of Challenger, it's kind of unfair for us veterans because like I stream every day. You could see how many bots I face. 80% bots, and I'm just getting stronger and stronger with anvils because I'm winning with coin food, right?
Yeah.
Where I feel like people in champion and master can't really do that. So
that's why I like going to champion, right? For content. Because when you're in champion, you fight from champion 5 to 1. But in challenger, you only fight challenger players. So it's really
only
hard
bots.
to get a real player. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
on JP, I pretty much, when I record, I have to play top 100 because Challenger is only bots with like 140 KCC. Like, what? They have no gear and stuff. It's just so bad.
Top 100 is bots as well, man. Like,
top 100 is kind of like 50-50 in my experience.
Yeah, I just get bots, bro. Because I don't play straight away at the beginning, right? Where everyone's playing. I only play when I record. So, like, later on the week, it's just bots.
Nah, fair play, dude. Fair play.
Yeah, that's annoying.
All right, so we're going to move on from global content. We're going to be talking about the current content on JP, which is the Attack on Titan collaboration. First off...
I'm out, boys.
Oh, come on.
Good podcast, bro.
Shut up, Kabuki.
What do you mean? One was JP ass, bro.
We're just going to talk about AOT, bro, and then we're going to talk about what you think about Super Awakens and stuff. So just chill. There's just those two things. Oh, my God. All right, so... the first thing that came out is Levi or Levy. Don't at me, please. I get it.
You ignore me.
Okay, and the fact that he is essentially the same as Zeldris, but with a way different passive. I don't understand the passive yet. I'm just trying to figure it out. Like all morning, I don't get it. But what do you guys think of the new Levi/Levy?
I like Levi, but he just if he has low crit damage, then yikes. But if he has high crit damage,
I feel like they shafted Levi 100%. Like compared to Aaron, like what? Aaron's top 3. Apparently, everyone's saying Aaron's top 3.
I don't
like,
know about
Levi
that.
should have been like, way stronger in my opinion.
I don't know about that. Aaron, when he transforms, he's really good.
No, Aaron is ridiculous, bro. Like he's crazy.
He's really good.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for Aaron.
Like he's gonna one shot. If he transform, it's over. Game over, bro. He one shots every member of the team.
He's pretty much Brad Askener. He has the same cards, and he applies himself 3 buffs, right? So he's always gonna have the
No, bro.
He's both, dude. He's both red and green.
Yeah, he starts off as green Escanor, and then he becomes red Escanor with an insane attack.
That's true.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Like Aaron is crazy, man.
If you remove the buffs, though, does he just like go back to human Aaron?
No clue.
No, we'll find out on the 29th.
The thing is, like,
I think that's something weird though. He's immune to everything.
Yeah,
like they didn't say he had immunity.
He's immune to everything, but usually taking off buffs doesn't like count for those immunities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
but they didn't word it like that, right? Because
no, he just
said something else.
All right, what do you guys think about the Mikasa character? Yeah,
her passive, right? Her passive. I don't know in the translation from database.
She's Galen, my bad.
It's she buffs her stats up until 30%, or 30%.
It said damage. Is it stats?
Yeah, it's attack. I'm pretty sure. Let me.
Well, that's just like
I think it's just attack like by 3% every time an ally takes damage, and those just rapidly
so it's
stack
like
up.
9%.
Let me go with the
It's
passions
AoE,
again.
right?
I really like the look of Mika actually.
I had the JP translation of it. I found
boy
4
being
different
Simpson.
translations. One said
Alright.
flat damage, kind of like Benimaru. One said attack, and one said basic stats. So, and the last one was like so. It could be any of those things, and that's a problem with JPs. We never know.
So from database, right?
Yeah.
For each other ally that receives damage and attack, increases this hero's stats by 3%. If it's stats
It's a
in
legend.
the term and not basic stats, that means very different because stats is like lifesteal, everything, just like Hawk. So if it's like that, then she's pretty good. If it's just basic stats, I don't know, because her actual cards bleed and the AoE doesn't seem that great.
The AoE being the Lost Vein Meliodas style attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was interested, but like I thought it wasn't great because
It's only 20%.
Well, the attack modifier is also really low too, so it won't even be close to a 1/6 Lost Vein Meliodas.
But what happens if you have like you've got the ult, you got the 50% booster, you've just been like merging cards, maybe you got a few in hand, you fire that off, you've got all your 10 buffs, and she's got some decent base stats. Maybe that might be quite spicy.
She could be very good.
She's one-shotting, bro. She is one-shotting.
The thing with
It's a 200% attack though, and it's only going to be at rank 1 most of the time. Very unlikely it's going to be rank 3 unless you have Gowther rank ups. Not like a Lost Vein Meliodas where you would rank up consistently.
Doesn't she have like secret technique as well?
What's that? Oh, the secret technique. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well,
But secret technique is only 20%. It's basically like
per card in your hand, right?
yes.
yeah, for
but,
each card in your head increases attack by 20%.
That's massive, right?
no.
For AoE,
Think of Escanor is at 30 for his ability, but she's only getting 20. But it's per card in your hand. So if Escanor had say 4 buffs, like he usually does, or 5, that's why he gets a massive damage increase on that versus her at a much lower multiplier and at 20% versus 30.
But she gets like 7 cards, right? Like if you have 7 cards in your hand.
No, but that's only her cards.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, it's only her cards.
Yeah.
heroes.
Oh, that's rubbish. All right, never.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
All right.
I'm just catching up
Yeah,
with the Attack on Titan stuff. I didn't know any of this stuff. That's what I'm talking.
So
Oh, you're sleeping, dude.
back to Levi says Levi. What the fuck is his passive?
Isn't his passive guarantee crits the lowest health target
I'll link
in
the
terms of
chat in the
percentage?
chat.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? I've been trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I like
Always
3
crit.
translations. They're all like fucking weird. And
This hero will always crit against the enemy that has the lowest leftover health ratio.
does that include
And it also applies when there's only one enemy. So single target, you're guaranteed crits.
So
Wait,
it is.
that's
It's basically Uber Zeldris then.
It's basically
Yeah,
Zelda's
pretty
not
much.
actually.
Deathmatch?
Yeah. So Mikasa might actually. Oh no, Mikasa. Levi might
What's
actually.
his element again? He's the blue one?
Red.
Strength,
He's red.
Red.
Oh,
sorry,
lucky.
I'm taking-
By the way, if you didn't know, Zeldris gets 15% crit on his 4-star
Zeldris
Super
what?
Awakening.
You cut
You
off.
cut off from me?
Oh, so Zeldris gets 15% crit chance on his 4-star Awakening.
Yeah, I know. I super awaken him.
Mine's only 3/6. I'm so sad.
Oh, that's another thing, bro. You're gonna have to have all these units at 6/6 for max potential.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we'll go over Super Awakens in just a second. That's the next thing to talk
Like,
about.
it's so dumb.
I will.
Right.
Oh, we
Aaron
haven't talked about one
6/6,
thing.
bro.
That's
You're
gonna be
not
fun.
beating him.
Dude, these all get UR gear. That's so dope.
Every unit that gets released, the
Oh,
JP version
but,
gets
like,
you earlier in launch.
Getting your war gear for 4 new characters is not an easy task. Okay,
Oh, it is
Just-
very expensive. It's so
you need to
expensive
make
you have no
new
idea.
Gear. You need to make new gear and then also have the purple gems. It's not just having the purple gems.
The total amount of cost for every single new unit after you pull them, including UR gear and before Super Awakenings, was over $200 per unit for UR gear, cosmetic upgrades, everything that you would need to and buying the cosmetics themselves after you pull the unit. So if you
bargain.
If you had now with Super Awakenings, now you have to get that unit 4 out of 6. So that's probably over $1,000 per unit. So
I have a few more months left. That's it. Goodbye. After that.
Boys.
yeah. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is Super Awakenings, and the first thing we're going to talk about before we get into is it good or bad or anything, because that's going to be a whole fucking hornet's nest that we're going to jump into.
Goodbye,
Is it a big difference in PvP?
Yes.
Okay.
Spam is gone.
So
I'm not gonna see Spam in a few months.
Okay.
CC.
For the combat
CC
class,
I'll miss
definitely.
hanging out with you guys.
So much.
So there are certain teams that are not CC reliant and don't need a large amount of CC to do well. The first team that comes to mind is Kingdom. So a team with lower combat class can actually do well against a higher CC team with Super Awakenings. One of the interesting things is I always fought a Kingdom team, and they actually came really close to beating me. It was like 50-50 all the way through. And it's actually a really even matchup. You would be very surprised. So
Don't you just turn one of them?
no, you actually can't. The amount of damage that you're going to get from Super Awakenings does not enable you in gearless PvP to one-turn someone. You would think it would be like I have a massive advantage. But what the difference is, it's more like a difference between like a level 75 character versus an 80 character from what I've experienced versus like having an 80 character with SSR gear versus UR gear. I feel like the difference is more like the difference between 75 and 80.
I think there's a very, very small stat increase from 75 to 80. I remember having a bit of a look at it. Super Awakenings are definitely a lot more than that. At least
it's about
from
the percentage,
numbers
though. See, this is the percentage. So, like, if you're looking at a character and they went from 5,500 attack to 6,000 attack versus 6,000 going to 7,000, the percentage increase is actually a little bit less. So the powered gap doesn't feel as large as you would like it to. When I'm fighting a person that, say, has 120,000 CC or 119,000, and I'm at 137,000, like, I feel like I'm very powerful against them, but not so much so that they can't beat me.
True, I get what you mean in that sense.
Yeah. So that was the first thing. So the first thing we're going to talk about Super Awakening is, before we go into the power gap in PvP, is ultimate level issue. Do you think that Super Awakening should be limited by ultimate level? Yes or no?
No.
No. 100%.
It should be limited by something that doesn't require money to do. Like if there's gonna be a limitation, it shouldn't be ultimate level. You know?
Well, the limitation is the coins.
It could be affiliation. That's something that's never used ever. Here.
Affiliation. Go around gifting characters.
I don't know. I'm just giving that. Okay.
How the hell am I gonna get a 4-star LV Melly? I don't see it happening, man.
So
I'm so sad.
Because no one, like, I most, like 99% of players that I talk to believe that ultimate level is the main issue in this. Do you guys think that there's something that Netmarble could do that would alleviate this burden?
Acquisition stones.
Yeah, add like a coin that gives you a free ultimate level.
That would be actually a really good idea. Yeah.
They take away.
I feel like they'd rather remove, like, from a business sense, the ultimate level requirement than give out free ultimate levels. Because a huge part of their money-making scheme is you got to go so deep into the banner if you're a massive whale, because you want that like super powerful ult that's going to guarantee everybody dies.
So Netmarble with JP, they want both, right? They want you to go super deep and also like pay as well for the coins as well. Like it's kind of crazy.
So go ahead.
I would prefer them to take off the requirement, because personally, I've never had an issue with the ultimate doing more damage. I've never had an issue with that, because compared to other games where getting dupes actually really matter to units, Grand Cross is never that. It matters, right?
But it matters for like certain units.
As much as other games, right?
Yeah.
And I never had an issue with that. It was like one of my favorite parts of the game. But now that dupes actually matter, I'm like pissed off. Like, bro, calm down.
Annoying.
I feel like there's really been a shift with the JP characters design. If you ever look at like Lost Fame Meliodas and Goddess Elizabeth, like you need a lot of ultimate levels to really make them work. Like Goddess Liz, her ultimate is really underwhelming on first pull. But you need like 4-5 copies to make it something like, well, okay, this is
same with Aaron. Aaron's the same way.
Yeah.
So it's not a coincidence that comes out, and then a couple months later, a month later, it's Super Awakening.
Yeah.
Right? They're just trying to push it as much as they can.
For sure.
So one of the things that's really unfortunate about the Super Awakening level, of course, is the ultimate level issue. But there is another issue that does come up, and I've actually experienced this just even while going really hard on the banners, is there's actually a lack of the amount of XP that you can get to a lot of different characters. So even if you did get a lot of ultimate levels up, you are actually faced with a choice. Do you use those rainbow coins that you've pulled for and had blood, sweat, and tears for in doing Super Awakenings? Do you use the gold coins used for Super Awakenings, or do you just continuously do what you normally were doing? One of the things that's really, really unfortunate is that every character in the game needs a Super Awakening. So do you think there's enough XP, or do you think there's a super big gap in the amount of XP.
Tied those 3 coins to that activity, the Tower of Challenge, which to me is fine tying there, right? But it only resets every 37 days.
Which is terrible.
It takes so long to
37?
reset.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
At least the first time. Maybe they'll reset faster next time. But like it taking so long to reset, and it gives a good amount. Like it's okay, but it could give more. Right?
They could just add stages to it instead of resetting
what
it.
do you guys think, right? If Super Awakening just didn't give like basic stats, but it gave like pierce rate, stuff like that.
Oh, it does.
Like resistance.
It
No,
does.
but it doesn't
It
give
gives
you
both,
any
right?
base stats. No base stats at all. So you don't get HP, attack, and defense.
That would
No,
have been
because then
much
people
better.
would just skip it. People just wouldn't do it.
I know, but it's a way. It's
Wales
like,
would still
it
do
makes
it.
it fair, right?
So
'Cause
the
then it
base
wouldn't
stats
increase the
really
CP
don't.
that much.
The base stats actually help less than the actual substats that you're getting. So the reason
I'm
that's
talking more of DC. That's why. Like,
so here's the reason it matters, Kabuki. Let's go into, say, Zeldris, who is really lacking on crit chance, and he needs more crit chance. On the 4-star, he gets crit chance. On another side of this, if you wanted to look at another character like King, he actually starts with 0% crit resistance, and he gets a lot of crit resistance on his Super Awakening. So there are characters that do get a rework, quote unquote, from the Super Awakenings. I haven't tried Hauser fully. I got Hauser to 1-star, and then on his tier 2, didn't get pierce rate. Only got a little bit of attack, and I was like, well, that's kind of underwhelming. I won't do that. But if you get a character like Hauser getting like say 20% pierce out of nowhere, that would be very, very interesting to see. There could be different changes in units that could really balance them with Super Awakenings and give them a little bit more oomph. And they could actually add different things later on for Super Awakenings to make these units more balanced too.
See, like my point was right. Like if you reduce the amount they get, like let's not give them like 15%. Let's just give them 5% or something. Like it's not too big of a like jump that it like changes the character completely.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone has a 6-star Zeldris, right, and you have a 4-star Awakened Zeldris, like you're getting like 10% additional crit chance on your Zeldris.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. And it's still people like they'll still get the whales that want the perfect character, right? But like it wouldn't matter too much. The gap wouldn't be huge, right? So I feel like if they nerf how much stats you get from Super Awakening, they could deal with, like Legends, I think pretty much does that as well. Once they get to Red Star, the stats ain't that big of a difference compared to like if you had them 7-star normally. But
So
the ultimate level is the main issue. So
I think the ultimate level being an issue is a big thing. And the thing that most people don't talk about is the XP thing. So if you
I hate that one. That part for me is the worst.
Yeah, me too.
Because they're giving nothing for you. I put like, okay, I like Mika, okay? He's my friend, simply casual. But I put up a post, right? Because you're giving 3 for login of those coins. And he was like, oh, they're giving 3 for free. 3 is nothing!
3
you
is
need
nothing.
like 20-something.
It's one ultimate level.
20?
how many coins do you need for like a Super Awakening 4-star?
Like 21? 24 or something like that?
So level 1 is
points.
225 XP, level 2 is 225, level 3 is 450, level 4 is 675. A rainbow coin that has the blank rainbow coins they give out gives 75. An SSR coin that you pull is 225. And an SR coin is 15, a rare coin is 1. So the amount of XP that you need, the amount of gold coins, SSR coins, everything that you have to use is massive. And actually what I found to be the bigger issue rather than ultimate level is actually the lack of XP. And one of the things that no one talks about is the amount of coins that you have to burn in order to get Super Awakenings. So instead of it being an ultimate level issue, it's actually that.
Yeah, I used like 500 or 600 gold coins the day 1.
It's crazy.
To start Super Awakening, and it was almost nothing. Like I Super Awakened like 2 or 3 characters of that.
It's a massive amount of XP.
Current rates, man, there's no way, bro.
They need to bump rates as well, but no. Here's the thing, right? They tied the coins to only Tower Challenge for now. They have already with the costume upgrades that's not global yet. They had only tied that to Hell Raids for a while, but now they give like everywhere else pretty much that comes out, right?
Yeah,
every new activity you can buy 30, 50 of those. So they could do the same with the coins, right? Every new activity, let's say the new Titan activity. What?
Like say you need 10 gold coins to get one of those coins. You think that would like help out?
No.
Coin,
You use the gold coins.
Worth.
Yeah, so it would be 5, I think.
I didn't know the XP.
Yeah. The XP from those coins that they give you is 75, Kabuki, and you get 15 from a gold coin. So it doesn't matter.
I didn't know how much you get from a gold. So you don't.
If it was 10 rare coins, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. 10 rare coins. What do you guys think? If it's 10 rare coins.
If you could buy those for 10 rare coins, that'd be really worth to buy one of those because that transfers up really well. I would buy those.
But like also getting from other events would be best. Because I still tie coins to summoning, right? So it's still like paid.
Yeah, exactly. It is
especially because. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Just wanted to ask because I'm not very tied in with the JP community and forums. Has there been like a massive backlash from Japanese players to their developers in regards to Super Awakening? Does anybody follow this stuff? Or... Because I feel like if it came to global, there would just be an immediate, a 3K upvoted post on Reddit about 1-star reviews.
So one of the things that was really, really weird to see, but also I totally understood, was that the massive amount of backlash that we were seeing from Super Awakenings from players that are playing on global and then just thinking about Super Awakenings right now. They're like, whoa, this is way too overwhelming. I'll never be able to do this. And it was really interesting to see how many people on global hated Super Awakenings. It was so blown up. And on JP, it was just like another day. It was like, oh, okay, cool. And
now here's the thing with Asian players, right?
Yeah,
they are used to getting destroyed by mobile.
Exactly. We're like, oh, we're used to it. You are here. Oh, that shit's pay to win as fuck. All right, well, hopefully I don't get run into a whale.
Korean players, they're used to getting destroyed by
showcasing a unit now. It's like stupidly hard. JP.
Oh yeah.
The amount of resources just to showcase the unit.
Like back in the day, I thought level 80 was too much. Now it's like level 80, you war gear, Super Awakening, get all the costumes, upgrade the costumes.
Just piles up.
The amount of time and effort it takes to get a fully maxed character and the amount of resources it costs, just money wise or in-game currency wise, is massive. And it has
ticket, boy. I'm telling you, man.
One of the things that was probably the most annoying to me as a player was UR gear. And the reason it's the most annoying, and Naga mentioned this earlier, is when the new character comes out and you want to play them, it's a brand new iteration of the character, say a like Aaron coming to the game or Droll coming to the game. You can't even play them at all in geared PvP on JP. Don't even try them without UR gear. Because if you try them with SSR gear, your CC is just tanked, and you will get dominated super hard by just trying them out. And the amount of resources it takes to try those characters out is way too large because of UR gear, and then now Super Awakenings. So
here's the thing as well. Like it's also tied to like named characters. So of course you're gonna give Awakening to like Meliodas. I'm sorry, not Awakening. UR gear to like Meliodas, Ascanor, Merlin, the characters you know. A new Aaron comes out. There's no more other Aaron that's gonna come out. It's just that Aaron that's gonna have the UR gear.
And, so one of the things that like I'm actually like contemplating is like 100% skipping the AOT event. I was actually considering it. I don't know if I'll do it, but I'll probably pull on it. But I don't know if I'm gonna like whale on it. I'm gonna collection it.
I tell all free to plays you have to skip this, man. No matter how waifu Mikasa is,
Yeah, to be honest, Spam is kind of right, because if you're free to play player in the manner, you're wasting resources because you're never gonna be able to max that unit. It's like pulling in the
collection, dude. It's collection.
Exactly. If you want it for that reason, totally fine.
Free to players can't play Pokemon, man.
Okay, it's the same thing for me about the slime units. You can skip them, but then you're gonna look at your box and be sad you don't have them.
Exactly.
It's gonna happen.
The slime units were kind of ass, man.
Yeah.
Now, and they were ass as well. Like the Titan units are gonna be the same thing.
Look great,
man. Unit, bro. Top 3. Easy.
You're gonna play a raid, someone's gonna pull out Aaron's transformation and be like, I wish I had him. I wish I had him.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna feel left out.
It's really annoying, man. So that's probably one of the things I think is the most frustrating, is that there are too many resources tied to these units. And what I think might happen on JP is that there might be actually a loss in revenue because of Super Awakening. So it's gonna be really interesting to see if people are actually going to pull for these units because of how many dupes you're gonna need for these units, what you're gonna have to get UR gear for them, etc. And since they're so limited, it might actually have a negative effect, So this might be a good thing for global too. The reason I think this would be a good thing for global is because you can collect these units, but you're not going to whale in these banners unless you really, really, really want to 6/6 one of these units, and you want to get the Super Awakenings, and you want to get the UR gear, all that stuff right away. But that's like $1,000 per unit.
No, here's the thing of global, right? Because I think the JP or Korean devs, I guess, are capable of fixing Super Awakening at one point, right? And if they take like, I don't know, 2-3 months before it comes out on global, when it comes out on global, they probably already release it with a fix. So global players might just get a dub for that. But
I agree.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw. Did you see the pack that they're selling for 240 diamonds with 3 of the Super Awakening coins? It's just sad.
What?
It's $100 for 240 gems and 3 of the Super Awakening.
Yeah, that was so dumb. I was like, who would buy that?
It's so stupid. It's so bad.
Like, why would you buy that?
Coin.
Ian can't wait, bro.
You just just buy a GSSR ticket pack and you would do way better.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the GSSR points.
money.
Like, so it makes no sense for whales.
My
Even
boy was licking his lips, bro.
if it actually made sense for whales, I'd be excited.
Stand
but
up, Seatin.
It's really unfortunate.
They got to
it doesn't.
put trash in the shop to make the other stuff look better too. Sometimes
Oh,
it's
Very
yeah.
true. Yeah,
What do you mean?
anchoring is a big thing in mobile gaming. Do you not know about anchoring?
Anchoring?
Huh?
Anchoring is okay. Anchoring's like Marvel Contest champions have done this for years. They'll bring out like a new catalyst to upgrade something. Initially, it'll be like $100 for 10% of it. So it's like $1,000. And you're like, fuck off, that's ridiculous. And then like it'll gradually go down. Maybe like next month there'll be like a little bit more, say like 15% for like $100, and then they'll find the point at which players bite at that offer. And then also on special occasions like the 4th of July, then they'll do like what would usually be like $1,000 catalyst for like $100, and everybody's like, wow, this is the best value. But in reality, you're just getting fucked. So that's what anchoring is. It's like setting something at really, really astronomically high value, just knowing that players won't go for it, to get that feeling in players' heads of like, okay, wow, this is a really expensive item. So when it comes down, they're like, oh, I'll cop this.
Pretty sure GP did that with Envils. I think the Envil pack was much more expensive back in the day. Like
it
the 200, 300 Envil pack was like 80 or something. And it's been constantly going down. And I think it stopped because now players are buying.
Yeah, that's what they test price points, man. They're all over the data with this stuff. Just because this game, like 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, God, looking at the rankings, they are raking it in, man. This game, I reckon, is easily making like 30-50 million every single month. Like, no doubt in my mind. I think the biggest whales could be a bit bigger in this game. Like, I'm surprised that I'm like, what is it, top 11 global account at the moment? Because I spend like quite a bit. I've probably dropped about 10k. But I know people in like Marvel Contest champions that have literally dropped like 100,000 and a bit over like 14 days last Christmas. Like there are people that just go even crazier. So I'm surprised there aren't bigger whales in this game that I can see.
There
in the first month they were that much to be at the top in this game. That's why.
Like,
what did you say? Sorry, Spam?
Like, you know how other games where you hear about Summer's War where they spend like 100k, right? That's because this game has a really good guarantee system, so whales don't even have to spend that much to get everything they want.
True.
Plat coins and everything, coin shop.
This game is
there's a limit on 7 days.
No, it's good, man.
Right?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, but also this game's been out for less than a year.
Oh, it's over a year.
Summoners War's like 10 years
Been
old.
you know.
We'll have 100k whales on global in a few years.
Yeah.
We'll have those big Kraken splash.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
That's what we'll be seeing next month, bro.
Yeah. Aaron and Mikasa coming out really early to global. Okay, I'm all in. Another 10k right there. Oh man. All right. So we've been going for about an hour and 8 minutes and stuff with that. So we're gonna have to wrap up the podcast here because the video is just gonna be way too long. Or we can keep talking.
Nice.
Let's talk about C and leaving this on the road.
Okay, so guys, everybody, we're gonna talk about meme stuff. So thank you guys for coming out to the podcast. Now we're talking about memes. All right, go.
All right.
Why you leave this on, bro?
How come you left this on, bro? Yo, jumping, man.
Well, I had a really good time in
What
Dark
a
Dishonored. Me and
second-rate
Kabuki,
plan, bro.
we used to
What's up?
chill. We used to spend every day together. We'd have long Skype calls and talk about our feelings. But half the guild was inactive, and Mystic only played once a week, so I had to.
Where is Mystic? I haven't seen him in a while. Like he's not on Twitch lately.
I absolutely love Mystic.
Me too.
Very,
I
very
was
active.
roasting
He's
Mystic
busy like
before I
having a
did.
life, man. So fair play to
Can
the
you
guy.
imagine having a
You
life?
gotta understand, right?
Disgusting.
Mystic
What-
is
what's
in
that?
like uni, like trying to get full.
Get an
Dog, you can't
education.
talk. You have a girlfriend now, bro.
Oh man,
So
that's
Spam?
funny.
Mystic was kind of sad he wasn't invited to this, by the way.
Oh, you know what? I didn't. I had 7.
You watched
I
up.
had 7, and
How could you, man?
Well, okay, so I had a specific criteria list that I was like trying to get people, and I had like everybody have a criteria. So I got me just as the host of the thing, of course. Then we got Seatin for the biggest fucking whale I know. We got Spam from a free to play perspective. We got Alex for being someone who's been with Network for a long time. We got Nagato, who's been on meeting for a long time, and been JP
We
Wayland.
got Nagato because, and then Kabuki.
Kabuki for the meme lordness, and then we had Korean Jesus, who's the Discord translator for the Korean version. But
That
we couldn't.
man yeeted, bro.
Well, I wanted one more person, and we just couldn't get that last person. And I didn't have time to invite Darkskin
It's
or
okay, yeah,
Mystic
it's
or
okay,
anyone
Sekapoko,
else. I
Dude, I
spent.
saw in Seka's chat. Someone said, "What is Spam doing here?"
Hey.
Well, you're the biggest free to play player I know, so there's not many out there.
I appreciate it.
You'll beat your ass without money, bro. I guarantee you.
So I guess next time, if you guys want to join in for next time, how'd you guys enjoy the podcast so far? Was it fun?
It's great fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
I like
Thank
you
you for
guys.
having us.
So I'll invite more people next time. Don't worry, guys. If you didn't get invited this time, it's just the inaugural podcast for State Grand Cross. It took like
At one point, it's going
10
to be like
hours
a
to set
local
up.
podcast where people kept getting invited and people stayed, and now there's 25 hosts. It's going to be exactly like that.
Oh my gosh! So it took 10 hours to get this all set up. So just,
Thank you.
Oh, wow,
You-
thank you
we
very much.
appreciate you
Well,
saying
so I
that.
had to create the
Nah,
thumbnails, get everybody invited, find everybody's tags, send invites out to everybody, figure out who would be the best criteria for everything. It took a lot of time to get this all set up, and then we of course had the recording, and that included as well. So then
You know what, Sek? I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you.
All right,
Took a while. So I will
come
invite
here,
more
man.
people next time. Don't worry.
Let's embrace.
How did we embrace? Like I don't see your face cam.
Send me
Okay.
send me a hug emoji, bro.
By the way, we get Kabuki to 100k subs. He said he's gonna do a face reveal.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
I bet him like 2
that's
months ago, and he was
talented.
like, "Bet."
I'm gonna just stop uploading when I hit 70k, man.
So if you're subscribed to any of us, you should probably go subscribe to Kabuki, and we'll get him 100k real quick.
Back
Just,
to
make
Seatin.
some bot accounts real quick.
Yo,
and,
jump for Seatin, bro. How's madness, bro? How is it?
Yeah, man. We've been having a lot
You
of
having a good time?
banter, man. Oh, I'm having a
You
great time.
enjoying yourself, man?
Yeah.
Yo,
I can't do
yo.
the Nighted boss yet, but I will be able to Sunday.
Kabuki,
Oh, okay.
do you know you're not the first one?
What happened?
He ditched me first.
Oh, of course he did.
He did.
Guild Hopper.
Oh, dude,
Bro,
wait.
yo, Seatin, man.
The only difference is I'm not crying about it.
This okay. So
Oh,
I'm gonna put it
He
up
just
on
roasted
screen.
both
I'm
of
gonna
them,
find
bro.
it. Kabuki made
Hey.
this hilarious meme. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
The guild
Guild
jumper.
jumper.
That's
Oh
so
my god, I was dying.
Oh, I'm
Man,
dying.
yo,
Oh.
There it is. Here, you can kind of see it right now on stream. It's let's see, guild jumper.
Dean's facial expression matches the guy's pose.
Yo, wait.
They got a lot of CC over there, boys.
Yeah. Yeah. So our chat was
That
pretty spicy
CC
for about a
looking
week.
nice.
Look, I'm a young man at the moment. I'm looking to kind of spread my wings, just see where I fit. Spend a bit of time with some people.
How
you know?
much you spend
You
on
know,
the
put
game,
that
bro?
tie down, lock yourself down.
Yeah, exactly. I'm keeping my options open.
Gilded
man.
X Kabuki.
So what do you guys? What do you think? Sometime in July, do the same thing and invite more people.
Sounds like a great time, man.
Who's down? Everybody down?
Down.
Yeah.
100%.
If I'm around, yeah, man.
With the
That's good.
Playing hard to get.
Yeah, I don't know.
with the rate the game's going, there's always gonna be something to talk about. Like we're going pretty fast on global, at least.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, if we talk about both versions as well, then that's even more stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think it's fun to talk about both versions because then we get a build the community that's like a whole community versus like JP v Global.
I know I've been deemed the Global hater, but right now I think Global is going a better direction than JP. So
the JP anime was so bad, bro. Like compared to the 100-day celebration on Global.
Oh
like,
yeah.
And
the first year was ass. Bro, it was ass.
500 anvils for free, bro. Like and like 25 hammers. Like that's just insane.
Yeah.
Like what for over $100, bro, and like free anvils and hammers.
Yeah.
Like then you go to JP, you just have to spend money, and the rates are like terrible.
So festival coin banners are so bad. I hate them.
They are rough, but they have really good characters.
They do.
It's like LR banners and Dokkan, but they don't have good characters in LR banners. It's like Dokkan Festival LR banners on Dokkan. Like there's good featured units and the main unit is good, but the rates are trash.
But you need those characters at 6/6 now. That's the difference. All right. Before you could just get one copy and you'll be set. Now you need 6/6. So I don't know, man.
We have time for Global to fix JP's mistakes, so I'm optimistic.
No, Global's doing a good job fixing JP's mistakes.
Yeah.
They did one fuck up, and that was like Green Lilia. But other than that, like
no. Here's the thing, right? They fucked up Green Lilia, and then they got so much backlash. Like, I'm sorry, this is never happening again.
Big Boy and Maddie Tyrant.
Yeah.
Dev notes, man.
How they've handled everything so far. I look forward to the future. I feel like it's in capable hands. Hopefully, you never know.
I thought they handled Valenti pretty well too. They didn't make it too busted and made it.
Wait, did you ever get compensated?
How is the Valenti ban?
I did not get compensation. I don't even know what I got, dude. 2 multis, they're just like disappeared. Where'd they go? And all my jacks are gone. I was like, why? What happened? And then people were saying, oh, it's your net problem, bro. It's your net problem. I'm like, did you not see the wall of chat saying, I'm DC'd, I'm DC'd?
Do you not see me streaming right now, bro?
Yeah. It was bad. Ah, man. That was I am glad that they did compensate for the 1 gem thing for everybody. That was nice, but they did handle that poorly. But it could have been worse. If you knew about the Gem Valley thing, it could have been worse. All right, so I guess that's gonna be it for the podcast and chilling out, guys. Thank you guys for coming out. Everybody's
back to see.
Thanks, guys.
Links to everybody's channels are gonna be in the description below. Thank you guys for coming out to the stream. I'm gonna go ahead and upload this, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for coming out, everybody. And of course, dude, I have a question about it. Is that Pillow the character from Fate Stay Night or something?
Yeah. Yes, no, Fate Apocrypha.
Apocrypha, yeah. Yeah, I just watched Gigix video on that. He would wail for a Sulfo.
Really kiss that pillow, bro. I'm sick. I am sick.
You're sick?
Bro, he kissed that pillow. You don't know how that...
It's not the first time.
I don't know what you've
been doing wash it every week, bro. It's fine.
I don't know what you've been doing to that pillow, bro.
You know.
I'm sick.
You guys are too fun to talk to whenever you end the video.
Dude, I tried making a heart with Seatin, and I got rejected, and everyone in chat's laughing at me right now.
Sorry. No, other side. Wait, is it on my screen? It's the other side.
Yeah, it's completely different from me.
When Nog was smoking earlier, like Alex was on the other side, and it was on this.
I was like trying to plan it.
On the screen, it's the other side.
I fucked it up. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, it's this way. Yeah, oh, there it is. Oh, it's good. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Holding hands together.
Free to play and pay to win. Worlds come together.
Holding hands. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great night. Bye.
Hey.
Bye.